In this snip, I'm going to show you how to set up OpenSSH on Windows. I would like to point out that you can reference these instructions on the PowerShell team GitHub page under the Win32 OpenSSH repository at the link at the top of my comments. This script will also be available at the TechSnips SnipScripts repository for your reference. First, make sure that you are running these commands from an elevated PowerShell session. I have already downloaded the latest OpenSSH build to my downloads directory. Now I'm going to set my install path to C program files OpenSSH and zip file to the location of the OpenSSH zip file I just downloaded. Now let's expand that archive to the install path I just specified. Once the files have been extracted, I'm going to go ahead and run the install sshd ps1 script. This is going to set up the SSH Windows services that we will be using in a minute. Next, I need to add an exception to the Windows firewall for the SSH service. Once I run this command, it will expose port 22 for SSH connections. Now let's run get service to see what we have for SSH services. The install script has created an SSHD and SSH agent service. As you can see here, they are both currently stopped. Let's go ahead and run set service on both of those services to set their startup type as automatic. That way, SSH will start running automatically when this machine comes up. Now let's run start service to start both of those services. Next, let's go ahead and run the netstack command with -bano to see that this machine is listening on port 22. Now that we have verified that SSH is listening on port 22, let's open up an SSH client. I'm going to use PuTTY. I'm going to enter localhost and click open. Now I'm getting prompted to accept the host key for the new SSH service, which I'm going to accept. Next, I'll just log in with my domain account. This puts me at a command prompt on the local machine, and I can run dir to list my current folder contents. Now if I try to run a PowerShell command like get host, you can see that the command fails. That is because I'm connected to a command prompt session by default. I need to explicitly run the PowerShell command to be put inside a PowerShell prompt. Now get host works. Now let's exit PuTTY. If you don't want to be connected with a command prompt, you can configure the default shell for SSH to be something else by setting the default shell registry key under HKey local machine software OpenSSH. To use PowerShell as a default shell, set the value of this key to the full path of the shell's executable. Now I'm going to go back to PuTTY and connect to the local host. You can tell by the PS at the prompt that I am now in PowerShell. I'm going to run get host again, and you can see that tab completion is also available. Finally, if you decide to uninstall OpenSSH or you want to install the next release, you can run the uninstall sshd.ps1 script located in the install path. This will uninstall both SSH services that were installed previously. And that is how to set up OpenSSH on Windows.